All right, gentlemen. So, anyways, like we were talking about with timepieces. At some point, you gotta start getting into timepieces. You gotta start wearing something whenever you go out, going to dinner, taking a girl out. Everybody can recognize a nice watch, okay? Regardless if they know what brand it is, because I can tell you right now, the females don't know what the hell they're looking at whenever they see a watch. But if it's a nice watch, they'll be able to tell. So, top brands for this year coming up, okay? We got Rolex, Classic, Patek Philippe, you got Audemars Piguet, you got Vacheron Constantin, all right? Correct me if I pronounce that wrong. And then Richard Mille. So, obviously, some of those on there, on that list, are going to be a lot more expensive than just a Rolex. Now, Rolex is probably your entry-level, lowest tier luxury watch that people can recognize, people know about. And then we got a couple of the most expensive watches on there as well. So from 2024, you got the Patek Philippe Grandmaster Chime, 30 plus milli. Jacob & Co. Billionaire. I could have guessed that was going to be on there, 18 mil. Jacob & Co. are just outrageous. Those are the most outrageous watches. That's it. If you guys ever seen the Bugatti watches that they have that
Is that a Jacob and Co?
it's a Jacob & Co. So they do the Bugatti watches, the one famous one Tate has, the fucking
Yeah.
whatever color that is. And then Richard Mille RM 5602 Sapphire 2 plus mil. So obviously the watches can get completely fucking outrageous. But the point is that know the different brands, understand what you like, what you're looking for, and then as you move up through the ranks, start to collect these different types of brands, because most of the people are going to start with Rolex. Rolex is going to be a entry level, get a little date just, little $4, $5, $6,000 used date just, get yourself something in the collection, and then after that, I would be moving up to the Pateks or APs. APs would probably be the next level. So, all right, you want to touch anything on that?
Yeah, so just like the way I structured this top brands for 2025, and this was in terms of just like how much money the brand makes, right? So Rolex, Patek Philippe, these are just the big brands, the ones that are making the most money. And I put these pictures over here to the left just to give you guys a little idea of kind of how these watches manufacture. They all kind of keep the same kind of style for the most part. I wouldn't say it's true over every single watch they make, but they all majority have like their own style. As you can see, the Rolex, is that circular face that they're accustomed to, like the Daytonas, and this one here is an oyster. So they have that more round face, more of that. The I would say it's more of like a boater style.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Patek Philippe's, they have this style down here that's more of a traditional clock, kind of squared off, round face, but also has that luxury feel to it. And I like how the Patek Philippe's, they have the notch uh, into the sides there, so everything is kind of enclosed. And I like the enclosed as opposed to like if you see on the oysters here how far they stick out
Right.
like that. I like how it's kind of enclosed there. And then the Audemars Piguet, this is just their classic style. I think this one was called the green oak, if I believe, when I was dropping the pictures in here. But this one is just a classic stainless steel with the green face,
Mm-hmm.
kind of actually similar to what I put on this morning. It's kind of just a stainless steel with a green face. No Audemars Piguet here, but
Right.
it's just a classic style.
So that's the thing. So Pateks are obviously fantastic. For me, out of those three, it would probably be my least favorite. The Rolexes. So here's the thing with me. I have Italian wrists, so I got the small wrist, so I need a smaller watch. I like the date justs for Rolex. Nice and easy, classy, simple. You can go with the presidentials too. Presidentials are cool. I don't like the big yacht masters, the big fucking chronographs, the ones that are just super bulky, got a bunch of things sticking out on the sides. Those are too much for me. So I like something simple, classy, date just. You get a little Jubilee band on there. You get the two tone. You get the gold on the bezel. Those are good. So I would start for the gentleman. If you're looking for a watch that you can start with, that's not going to completely kill you. Rolex date just, something used, a couple of grand, you can find one for. And make sure you got box and papers with it. I learned the fucking hard way, Bobby. First Rolex I bought was a date just. Okay, two tone Jubilee band, banger, loved it, wore it all the time. Fucking got smoked. I didn't get the box and papers. So when I went to go resell it, I got smoked on the value of it. So I got cooked. Which you learn, don't make that mistake. Whenever you buy a watch, most certainly get it with box and papers. You're better off doing that so that whenever you do want to resell it, the whole idea is to be able to preserve your value, preserve your money by having the timepiece as opposed to blowing it on a bunch of dumb shit. You want box and paper so you can get some good resale value whenever you do that.
Yeah, that's definitely the number one thing that I've seen from a resale perspective, making sure you have the original paperwork, the original box, because then how I look at it, it's a nice timepiece that's going to last you forever. If you keep it, it's just like we talked about with the cars last week. Remember we talked about keeping it clean, keeping it maintenance, right? It's the same thing with these. It's a luxury piece and things might go wrong, so you have to take it to the Rolex store, get it fixed. But if you take care of it, clean it, keep the original box, paperwork, you might be able to resell it. Hopefully, you'll be able to resell something like this for more money in 10, 15, 20 years. And that comes into the investment aspect of it, which I could go to the next screen here.
Mm-hmm. Bangers.
So just the investment aspect of a very expensive luxury watch, right? So appreciation of rare models. So I attached some rare models over here. So this one is this Rolex Daytona here is actually I think the same style as that one on the first slide,
Mm-hmm.
but this one is from 1969, and then this new one here and this one I put here is kind of the updated model of what is on this second screen. So this is like a early 2000s model,
Mm-hmm.
still very nice. And then this is kind of the OG. So you can see they haven't changed much. And like I said, that it's the circular motion traditional clock with kind of a diver's has the pressures and everything else like that that people would look at. I don't look at that stuff, but that is something
That's what I was gonna
that's
say. I think it's hilarious
big.
that these watches have all these use cases, and it's. I think to myself, who the fuck is diving and
Yeah.
trying to measure the depth of the ocean with their fucking Rolex Daytona? Nobody's doing it. Bro, I had the date just. I never once in my life used it to tell the time. Not once. It's like, oh, you got your watch right here. Oh, what time is it? Okay, hold on. Pull out your phone. Boom. Okay, like it has nothing to do with the use case. It's
No.
absolutely just a status symbol. But yeah, the appreciate the maintaining the value is the whole idea with the watches because you can spend all your money on. I've done it with the designer clothes. I've done it with I mean, traveling's good, but designer clothes, just buying shit online, buying things that aren't going to really do anything for you down the road, nor maintain any kind of value. It's cool to spend money, but you don't want to spend all your money. You don't want to be done with it. At least if you're buying watches, you're maintaining the value. You're storing it somewhere so that you don't blow it on something stupid and you get the use of it, which is wearing it out and about, taking girls on dates, having it a part of your fashion, your look that you have. So you get value out of it while still maintaining what you put into the watch, which is huge, right?
Yep.
It's not something that you're using and then it's gone. No, you're using it while still keeping the money that you had spent on it in the watch.
That is the importance of diversifying in this too, because you never know what can happen with a watch, and that's why I think personally for me, collecting more the merrier. I just want to have a bunch of different ones that when you look back on it, it is that timepiece. It's like it's a part of history because realistically, you get a good watch and it never stops ticking, right? It just keeps going and going and going, and that is the best part I think. For looking back in time almost at these watches like you're like okay well it's still ticking from when I bought this Rolex Daytona from 1969 it's still ticking and I think that's so cool. I think that's like one of my favorite parts about a watch is that it's that timepiece. It's like just like the movie Interstellar, when he goes to the foreign planet and his time is like 2 hours, but then his daughter's time is like 45 days or 45 years, sorry. So that's just like something that I think about what watches is that it has that time value to it. Like you actually know how much time has gone by. But in terms of the watches on the screen here, I added this Tag Heuer to the top right. And I want to get your take on Tag Heuer because I know they're meant to be kind of more of a sportier watch. So something you do maybe while you're racing F1. I see a lot of those guys are like F1 or Tag Heuer sponsored, or they're sports like tennis players or stuff like that. So what's your take on Tag Heuer? I know they got a lot of different models from like kind of like the newer tech ones, like what's digital aspects to it. But this one here. Sorry, I think I'm covering up with
No, I
my
can see
screen
it.
here, but okay, the connected Calibre E4. So this like, what's your take on Tag Heuer? Because I hear a lot of great things, but I never actually purchased one.
Me personally, I would never buy it either. So my take would be, unless you're fucking Lewis Hamilton and you're ripping on the F1 track. I don't think you need that. Because here's the thing: the whole idea of a businessman of a gentleman of buying a watch is if that's not your thing. Oh, I collect watches and I have 1,000 pairs of watches. If that's not your goal here, your goal is just to have some type of class, to have some type of statement piece, something that shows you that you have some status. I'm not buying a Tag Heuer because, number one, most people aren't going to be able to recognize it unless they're a watch connoisseur, right? And if the whole reason of me buying the watch is to have a statement piece, then I'm not going to buy a piece that people aren't going to recognize, or it's not going to provide me some sense of, or some type of, what's it called? Yeah, status. So I wouldn't buy it personally. And then, of course, because I'm not using it for the use cases. I mean, that's the thing with the watches. You learn this in sales. People don't buy products for what they don't buy products for what its use cases are. They buy products on what the outcome or what the benefits are, right? People don't buy for features, they buy for benefits.